Hello, Steve House 89. Well, I thought this was a little bit interesting. A little while ago, Doomcock did a video about the whole Boba Fett situation with Baby Yoda and his choice. Now, we saw in the final episode his choice, presumably. And I just found it really funny when I was watching the episode and he was laying out this whole theory that they are going to erase the this promise, I guess he's been giving his base and his fans for a couple of years now, that they're going to erase the sequel trilogy in The Mandalorian. And there are all these sort of secret clues and indications that they're going that direction. And he made this big sort of declaration that, you know, Grogu is going to choose to stay with Luke, and then by being his first student, it would affect the history basically of the sequel trilogy and the blah, 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 blah. You'll know what happens in the films. And by Grogu not going off with the Mandalorian and being the first student of Luke Skywalker, it would affect the future, and basically the sequel trilogy wouldn't happen. And there's some veil of the Force or something which they could use to do that I don't think has been mentioned in the Boba Fett or Mandalorian series. I'm not sure if that came up again. I know it was mentioned at some point. But yeah, so we did this big video about that, and I thought, well, that's an interesting theory. He's obviously selling people this promise, much like the promised cancellation of Star Trek Discovery, which 4 years in a row hasn't happened. And now, of course, Doomcock fans are all upset because Grogu showed up at the end of the Boba Fett in his chainmail Mandalorian suit, or made by the Mandalorian for him, and he joined the battle, which apparently the last episode was all just one big battle. And apparently he made his choice, which means the chronology and the canon of the sequel trilogy remains intact, and it happens, so nothing's been changed. So now fans are upset. So now he got a big video where people, ate up this idea that, this was this proof that the TV series, the Star Wars TV series, because it's not just the Mandalorian and the Boba Fett, they're all sort of joined together. That whole universe is going to undo the sequel trilogy. So he sold people that, and people ate it up, and now they will get to be outraged that it didn't happen, and now they've been betrayed again. So he's gotten 2 videos out of something he basically made up. So I found that funny. Now I got sucked into the whole Discovery is going to be cancelled, because I wanted it to be cancelled in the first year, because it wasn't successful artistically. It wasn't successful as Star Trek, and I was hoping it would just go away so we didn't have to deal with it anymore. But so of course I wanted it to happen, and then I realised, he's just telling us what we want to hear. We're eating it up, and we need to stop it. It's not going to happen, because they have their agenda and they're going with it, and it's successful enough for them to continue doing that regardless of whether it's failed in so many other ways. And The Mandalorian, I don't really think they really had any intention of undoing the sequel trilogy. I think they set their little universe in this time period so they just didn't have to deal with it, and it doesn't have to affect it, and it can all be before it and so forth. So I just found it funny that Doomcock was wrong again, and he got a lot of traction out of being wrong, because he got to build people up and get attention for that, and now he gets to disappoint people and be outraged with them, and he sort of gets twice as many hits out of one sort of story. So I found that fascinating. But I don't know how I feel about the whole idea of the sequel trilogy being decanonized. I didn't particularly like it. I mean, the idea that nothing was achieved in the original trilogy, that basically they just went from they got rid of one empire and another one just popped up the next day to sort of take over again, and they basically just stayed rebels, and they basically just repeated the first trilogy rather than creating a new story and a new way to actually prolong the series without just recreating the original trilogy. So, and also the whole subverting expectations in The Last Jedi, and sort of trying to deliberately sort of undermine what the fans wanted to see. And a lot of the fan outrage about that was not a pleasant experience to witness as a Star Wars fan. And I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. Like, I haven't even watched all The Mandalorian. I mean, I've seen bits of it, and I've seen bits of Boba Fett, but I haven't actually sat down and watched the series yet. I will. I guess I'll buy them on Blu-ray and watch them that way. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll actually watch them on streaming or not. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if it was rewritten and then they redid into a different version of those events. It wouldn't bother me, but I'm not hugely invested in it because a lot of the things that upset those fans don't upset me personally, so I'm not really bothered. But I just wanted to comment on the fact that Doomcock was wrong again, and just the way that he manages to create these stories and then get a lot of traction out of the stories that he created and people being outraged about something that he said was going to happen that, really wasn't ever happening. It's kind of interesting. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.